I love how you portray your personality. Like you are literally the same person right now as you are in video.
I almost screwed myself out of a very nice deal, commission, and what's most important, relationships. But that's not how I want to start.
I love how you straight up just owned it, though. You called like real talk, human, like I messed up. I'm so sorry. It's on me.
What catapulted your business? Like, what are you the best at?
Relationships, handshaking, moving and grooving, and showing up to things. Anybody can be successful in real estate if you showed up to the birthday parties, showed up to the housewarming party, talked to people when in the grocery store.
This is the Agent Goldmine, where you'll find real talk, and ambition. We're here to build real businesses and be more than your average agent. We want to know what killers are actually doing within their businesses, the reality of it, all tactical, no fluff. So we're here to find out. Please share and enjoy.
Falisha! Falisha, we're so excited you're here.
I'm excited too, from Vegas, baby. Golden Knights playing tonight. Stanley Cup final.
God. Yeah, coming in hot. So if this is your first time listening to us, this is the Be More show for agents. I'm Shelby Johnson with your host, Allie Garced. And we are here today with Falisha Rexford in the house. So excited. And Falisha, I was thinking, so Allie and I start off with how we know our guest. And I pulled up your Instagram, which you have a bajillion followers, by the way. And I was like, dude, I know we have messaged. I know that. And
cross talk.
Dude.
For over a year, girlfriend.
Dude, for so long. No, I pulled it up and literally our first message is back in 2018 when I had posted something with my business, my first year as an agent. And you were like, let's go, girl. Looks great. I'm your counterpart here. Literally full support since day one. And we have a ton of messages about Airbnbs and partnerships. And so, dude, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Yeah, finally, FaceTime, girlfriend, FaceTime. And I will always be every woman's cheerleader, by the way. I think that's something that I embrace the most. So you're out there killing it, crushing it. You already have a cheerleader in me, that's for sure.
Yeah, I love how you portray your personality. Like you are literally the same person right now as you are in video, which is amazing. And it's actually kind of hard to come by. Usually you'll
totally
fall in love with somebody online, oh my God, I love this about them. And then you meet them in person and it's a letdown.
Who are you? Of mine going to masterminds and meeting people and shaking hands. And you're like, ew, oh, you're grungy. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I want to go into your stats because not only are you an awesome person, genuine cheerleader, positive, which is very hard to find as a realtor in real estate overall, but you are so I want to go into your stats. You are out in Las Vegas. You have an Air Force background. So you were military, VA specialist. You're also an investor. You own single families, multifamily, Airbnb, some of which you manage, some of which you don't. You've been an agent for 6 years. And the total number of closings that you have done is 720, meaning an average of over 100 a year. That is insane. I super want to get into that. In 2022, last year, you closed out at 117. And this year, you're on track for more than that. You're a team leader, which also, I want to get into that too. I want to get into all the things. So you're a team leader of 5 agents out in the Vegas area. You own, 40 doors. You're an investor too, which this podcast is more so focused on realtor stuff. We can definitely have you on when we do more so investing, if we ever do that. But I'm so excited to have a female veteran on here, Air Force representation, what's up? And to dig into this. So Falisha, thank you so much for coming on. But
well, thank you for that intro. Dang. Sometimes we forget how far we've come. And so when somebody even says my own synopsis, I'm like, oh, yay me, because a lot of times we're just in that grind every day,
totally.
Trying to hustle and kill and tired and coming at you with broken eye vessels today and all this crap. And then thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because it's those quick synopsis that is yeah, we're doing it. We're killing it. We're making strides, So I appreciate it, girl.
Just like you are our cheerleaders, we are your cheerleaders. So we're right back at you. I'm so excited. Now that we've brought you up, though, we have to hear a moment.
We love your DMs on Instagram, and as long as you don't sound like a bot or aren't sharing your overnight crypto success, hit us up on Instagram. Let's be friends. We're at The Shelby Show and at Allie the Agent.
Okay.
Yes. Don't
So
What do you have for us?
I saw that you guys are going to ask me this, and I'm normally ridiculously crazy. I like to be funny. I like to be like, lighthearted and stuff. So like I just said a second ago, I wish it was like a dancing in the rain, naked moment, tequila involved, but I'm going to go more basic for the agents because this was literally a misstep of mine. And it could have cost me a lot of money, like over a $20,000 commission just recently. So I think it's just really, really a tactful thing to discuss. So when you're a successful agent, you have to have systems. That's a word that we're going to hear over and over again. You have to have systems in place. You have to do things redundantly with consistency to, achieve our goals. Well, this is such a random, stupid thing, but somebody posted on Facebook that they needed a realtor and they were interviewing realtors, and I got my foot in the door to get an interview. So they were interviewing for listing agents, right? And I had them on the phone and I did something out of my normal routine. And this is where it bit me. So I'm talking to them on the phone. I'm trying to set up my listing consultation. They're super cool. I'm already thinking that we're going to jive, this, that, the other. We picked a date, we picked a time. And instead of me putting it on my calendar, the way that I do, because the way that I put things on calendars, I'm almost 40, y'all. I've got my old school calendar with my highlighter, and every color means something. Pink is for real estate. Orange is for my kids. Blue is for vacations. Like, it's just the way that I do things. I stepped outside of my norm. I did something different. I was on the phone with them, and I looked at my husband and I said, hey, can you write this on my calendar that we're going to meet XYZ day? Now, did my husband do anything wrong? No. But he wrote it sideways, chicken scratched out. It wasn't my normal way of putting an appointment on my calendar, right? So I go to Red Rock, which is a casino out here in Vegas, and I have a girls' day by the pool, and I'm drinking, I'm having a great time. And I come home and I open up my calendar to kind of touch my calendar, and I look, my head kind of goes sideways, and I see this chicken scratch note that I had a listing consultation. By the way, it's a $900,000 listing consultation. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Like, change. And I look, and to the freaking minute, I'm supposed to be there. So I just came out of party mode. I just didn't freaking check in because I did something outside of my routine. And this is such a small, stupid concept, but it will bite you in the ass. So I called with my tail between my legs, and I was a human being for a second, and I told them exactly what happened. I took a picture of the stupid chicken scratch note that my husband did. I'm like, I'm sorry, I just didn't see it. Give me another opportunity. Begged, pleaded, all the things. And they're interviewing. This wasn't like a bestie or something like that where they're like, no worries, girl. I don't know these people. They're interviewing. So I came with wine and cookies to my listing consultation when we rescheduled. And I did get the listing. Woo-woo! We're actually nice and best right now. But I could have lost that because I did something just outside of my norm. So it's not this huge epic show moment that sometimes, I think we want to have fun and talk about. But that realistically almost bit me in the ass. So when you do things a certain way, you take a call, you make an appointment, where are you putting it? Is it on a Google Calendar, your calendar? Like, how are you doing this? You got to do things redundantly, like a freaking machine, so that you act like a machine. You know what I mean? So
totally.
I almost screwed myself out of a very nice, deal commission. And what's most important, relationships, because they're already singing my praises. So I was able to come back from that moment. But that's not how I want to start, earning somebody's trust. That's for sure.
I love how you straight up just owned it though. You called real talk, human, I messed up. I'm so sorry. It's on me. And I feel like that is such a huge part. People want to hear, people understand if people are owning their mistakes and when they do screw up. So dude, I'm so happy you got that. You got it back.
And I completely understood if they're like, nope. I mean, there's only one person to be mad at in that situation. And that's me. And it would have been a learning moment all the way. And I would have never done that again. I still will never do that again. It has a happy ending, but
yeah, For sure.
Like seriously, how you do things on the daily in this business is going to make you thousands of dollars. You just got to stay consistent. So,
okay. And we have so much we want to dig into today. Real quick, can we hit us with how you got into real estate? And then we'll like deep dive into all the things.
yes, backwards. So I started buying real estate first when I was a kid, when I was 24 years old and the market was down and you could pick up single family residences for like $75,000 or $80,000. So I was a super boring 24-year-old. We were like gathering all of our savings and like buying a house and then being broke in Las Vegas, by the way. So we were not fun people to be around, but we started buying. And then honestly, it came down to one night with my husband. We were being a little morbid, a little realistic, but I'm like, hey, babe, like, what if I die? What would you do? What if you die? What would I do? And we started to go through life, right? Like, what would happen? And one of the things at that point that we were blessed with was a small portfolio. And I thought, I should probably just go get my license. This goes hand in hand with one another, right? Because I was an Air Force contractor at that time in a great career. I used to teach people how to fly drone aircraft, MQ-1, MQ-9, employ weapons, like all of that stuff. It was a career, guys. It's not a job. I was making $130,000 in my 20s. Back then, that's a lot of money. Now it's maybe we need to be talking about making more money, right? So I loved it. So I went and got my real estate license, never thinking that I was going to cut that career off. I did not have that laid out. I was just trying to make it make sense. Let's add this to who I am. So if and when I ever had to sell property or something, I could possibly do that, right? Guys, I tell this story over and over again, and this is for the agents out there, okay? Hear me out loud and clear. When I was studying for my real estate exam, so I'm at the Air Force Base, launching and landing planes, debriefing missions, and then studying for my real estate exam, right? People were coming up to me left and right going, hey, I need to sell. Hey, I need to buy a house. And I'm looking at them like, you see me studying for I don't even have my license. It blew my freaking mind that people would want to work with me that knew that I didn't have any time in the business. And this is one of the biggest learning moments of my life, which is, it doesn't matter if you have 20 years in. People want to trust somebody. People want somebody that's going to have their back and fight for them. And they knew that in my personality. So regardless of the fact that I didn't even have a license, the first 7 transactions I ever had, I had to put underneath my broker's name because I did not have a license. But I had the people that wanted to work with me. 7 deals that I did not even have a license for. And that was just that boom moment where I'm like, okay, there's a need here. There's a niche here. Obviously, nobody's promoting themselves as a VA specialist. I'm going to fill that void. And within 12 months, I walked away from my career and bet on myself as a realtor and didn't look back.
Wow, what a story. That's amazing. I want to get into your personality is contagious. It's people want to be around you. Not everybody is like that. What would you suggest to those that maybe are a little bit more reserved or, just others that want to emulate somebody like you?
I get that a lot. And I love that that's what I hear. But I want everybody to know that it's a choice that I make. Okay? I'm a tired mommy right now. But when I come on and I'm going to do this with you ladies, I'm going to give it my all. So it's a choice that you make. You can either be like the energy in the room or you can be the flower on the wall. And the flower on the wall ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean? So I way rather be magnetic and connect with people that I'm supposed to connect with. Like I tell my kids all the time that this is technically a superpower. Walk by somebody in a store, and if they look sad, give them a compliment. You can change people like that with your energy, but you have to be willing to engage. You have to be willing to do that, or you're not going to get the energy in return. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for that. But like literally a second ago, I came in and I'm smoked. I hosted 3 parties this weekend at my house, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Air Force party, women's event, and then a firefighter party. I'm a mom. My husband's a fire captain. Like to say that I'm not tired would be a effing lie, right? But when I come to things like this, I'm gonna show up, which is two of my favorite words, show up.
Love this so much. I love this. So I agree. I mean, I think you can change your personality. I'm a big believer of that. I used to be extremely shy, and this is going to come out in another episode too. I was so shy. I would be the one crying when a teacher called on me to read in like the third grade. Not because I couldn't read. Oh girl, I could read, but because I didn't want to be the only one talking in the room. And you just change it. Like it's so obviously like easier said than done, but I love that. Let's talk about your agent journey. So you had 7 people that from the start you just had to give to your broker. How did you continue gaining clients? Like how did you double down, and what was the reason why you ended up truly leaving your secure W-2 into this?
I wanted to work for myself, and I believed at that point, like I got that little hint of I can do this, and I can do this on an epic level. So I leaned in hard into the VA thing and embraced what I had already worked my ass off for, which is being a female veteran. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm talking about, 13 plus years ago when the numbers of female veterans were even smaller than they are now. So that's already a unique breed, right? But I took that and I embraced it, and people want to work, especially like military and VA. They want to work with other veterans. We all know that's like a family niche. When you get PCS and you get orders to another state, people are asking for a hair. Well, who's your hair person? Who's your nail person? Where do I go? Right? Who's your realtor? So I'm like, I'm going to go full force for this. And I did go part-time at my W-2 to kind of like play out the finances for a second, because and this is something that I'm going to actually do a podcast on soon, which is, and this is not a dig on my husband. I want this to be an okay subject to talk about. I've always been the breadwinner in my home. Mind you, my husband's a hero and he's a fire captain. I have always been the breadwinner in my home. These are okay things to say. This should not be shocking, and we need to normalize this, right? So when I went part-time though, up at Creech, I needed to make sure that I could continue to bring in what I was bringing in, because we were still wanting to do investments. We still wanted to travel, all of these things. And for about 6 months, I did that and went, yeah, I'm already equaling my pay. So if I were to give this 100% of my energy, where could I go? And honestly, where we're at now is already, and where I'm at now financially is even bigger than maybe what I had intended for. Because every year you're sharpening your skills, right? That snowball is going down the mountain and you're refining your craft. But it always starts with pushing the snowball down the mountain. Like you got to commit at some point. You have to bet on yourself at some point, and then the momentum will come,
Totally. And so you decided to go all in on your niche. I love that, by the way, like the riches are in the niches of this VA, a female veteran thing. So how did you use that like in order to build your business, like generate leads?
I am out there. Like from my signs, you're going to see an Air Force symbol on my for sale signs. You're going to see female veteran owned on my for sale signs, because we attract who we should be working with, right? So even people seeing my for sale signs, is it a stuffy like realtor pick that everybody has? Or is it a realtor pick with, this is who I am. Do you want to work with me? Because people will see an Air Force.
Screaming it.
Yes. And you know what made me do that too is a male veteran agent friend of mine. He like leaned into his marketing hard with being military. And I'm like, why am I not doing it as hard? So then it became a game. I'm like, I'm in this. Let's go.
Let's go.
Female veteran Air Force everywhere. And I love that. And then you put it out there, you're going to attract the people that want to work with you, So it's out there.
Yeah. I on the last purchase that I had, before I became an agent, when I used a realtor, I used the realtor originally because he was part of a team name that had like a keyword that was very military, US flag on like everything. I assumed that they were all military. They weren't. They weren't. That was just like a niche that they wanted to get into,
Gotcha.
or like, it was like, wait, what? You have no military background? Great agent, but it's a different, it's veterans really do
Family.
want to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a family.
Yeah.
And I'm trying, even now on my social media, I'm trying to expose a little bit more of my military life because that resonates with people too, And I hope that I also encourage people that are in the military on their second life, because most people can do even a 20-year commitment and have a whole second life. So I am trying to do more of that, talk about more like my time in Iraq, getting shot at, getting bombed, da 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 da. That was one whole half of my life. What do we learn from that? How do I implement that into my entrepreneurial phase in life? You know what I mean? So even those little things, because again, people can resonate with that. If you've been deployed, if you've ever flown on a medevac, this, that, the other, they already know we have a connection. I don't care if you put an American flag on your sign or not. If you're not a veteran, you're not going to necessarily have that connection, but we have that connection. You know what I mean? And I love them. There's a sincerity there. When they PCS and they're PCSing their family for the 6th time, and they're picking up their 5 children and they're relocating and starting at new schools, new house, all this stuff, I feel for them. I appreciate their service. So this isn't just a marketing ploy. I love these people. And I think they know that,
What would you say in your business is like what catapulted your business? Like, what are you the best at?
Relationships, handshaking, moving and grooving, and showing up to things. Like, it is crazy to me. I think anybody can be successful in real estate if you showed up to the birthday parties, showed up to the housewarming parties, talked to people when in the grocery store, just show up and make those relationships. And I always tell people, make the relationships, the commissions will come. Literally, make the relationships, invest. If you walk out of a party with no leads, that's okay. Give it a week, give it 2 weeks, give it 6 months, right? Because now they're following you on social media. Now they're realizing, oh, Felicia's also a crazy plant lady who loves Boston Terriers. Oh my God, I love Boston Terriers too. And you're creating this relationship, and then, boo, now you've got a deal 6 months from now. So showing up is huge. I'm a handshaker. I'm a relationship builder. And there's no stopping me with that, Therefore, I'm going to do deals because I am going to be in the room making relationships. If you ain't, I am,
Dude, I believe you. Hardcore. I have a question though. So you go to the parties and you make all these relationships, and you mentioned you're following each other on socials. I'm sure that's purposeful some point throughout the evening, so that way you can cultivate and nurture. Do you also get their contact information and do like a CRM drip, or is it all mostly socials? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's mostly social. So I think the beautiful thing about real estate is that we all do things differently. Like, we have 3 ladies on the screen, and I am sure that there are things that we do completely differently, yet successfully, which is a really fun concept with this business in particular. So I semi shy away from and I don't want it to sound so bad, but I always say like the dirty car salesman act. You know what I mean? Like, I shy away from that. I rather have a conversation with them about whatever it is they want to talk about. And no, I won't run and put them in my CRM. But we will be now communicating with each other on social media. And I do. My videographer is here too, and he always says, you're really good at doing the social part of social media. So I like engaging with people, right? I love actually making that relationship, right? So no, I won't run and put it in a CRM, but if they start asking me about real estate, that's another thing. I don't chase them like a freaking animal down, but I let them come to me because I'm going to give them free content, free education, my ear, any information that they want. And now I just became their preferred expert.
Totally makes sense. So social media, it's like social media is you're casting the net, you're meeting these people, having genuine relationships. You love it. I can just tell. And then from there, they're funneling with it into your social media, which is where you continue to hit them with value and engagement and all of these different things. So which is actually a perfect segue because social media, we are wildly interested in your process because if I look back to 2018, I think you did not have 27,000 plus followers. That has definitely grown. So can you take us through like your social media journey?
Yeah, sure. Consistency. And I saw that you're back, by the way, Shelby. Took a little hiatus and then we started.
I sure did.
And you came into it hard too. And I love everything about it because you're you in so many epic ways. And Allie, you're killing it too and putting your face out there and being educational. And I love it. Consistency is that like coined word, right? We're going to say over and over again. Realize so many times on my social media, I'll do a video that I'm like, oh my God, that's a big video. It's potent. It's impact. It's got so much information, this, that, the other. 20 views. Like you cannot be so emotionally invested in the really good video, because it's funny when you get your stupid video that hits thousands of views or whatever. It's always about the one person though. It's about the one person that video was made for and that relationship and that deal. I know my dad is a realtor and he has been his entire life. And I saw him paying money after just so much money for flyers and billboards and mailers and all that stuff. We have the most amazing thing at our disposal right now if we could get over ourselves, which is social media. And I always tell people like that don't do it. I always ask them, especially the young kids that are like just killing it, just killing it. I'm like, why don't you do social media? It's always an I problem. Always. It is, I don't like what I look like. I don't know if I know enough yet. It's very much I. And I'm like, that's the problem. When you, and trust me, how many videos are on my feed right now that I'm like, bad hair day, double chin moment. That was not a good angle. Like there are so many that I said, if you're doing it from a great place, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the person watching. And that brings me so much peace when I go speak at events or anything like that. When you stop thinking about what you look like or how the video is going to come out, this, that, the other, I think that's when you really start to be successful because it's about the person that you're making it for, has nothing to do with you. And so that's my concept. That's what I keep in my mind. And yes, the followers are going up, which is awesome. But more than the followers, which still isn't something, extraordinarily large, the relationships, the investments that I'm getting, the partnerships that I'm getting. I mean, it's just unbelievable what's happening to me and my family right now because of social media, even with, 27,000 followers, which I know isn't, 100 and 300 and blah, blah, blah.
Girl, it's very impressive.
The relationships are there though, So I would say with the social media, I really had to get out of my head, probably like any woman, and just realize this is not for me. This is my platform to better my family, to better other people. And yet again, the business will happen.
So you mentioned consistency. Consistency is what got you to almost 30,000 followers. How did you, what's your tempo of posting and how do you know what to post?
I do ebb and flow. And the consistency can kind of come and go. And sometimes you have to listen to your health too, So like I am knocking on the door to a beach trip. So my posting may slow down a little bit while I am dipping more into my family time here in the next week. But we batch. So I will batch my content. Today, peep me now. I have a different cami we're going to put on after this. I'm going to do some more content because I'm here. We'll probably end up videotaping 20 reels. And then I do have a personal assistant who's sitting right next to me, who's also one of my best friends. She will help me post in the mornings, and then I'll usually do the evenings. Sometimes we change it up a little bit. Hers are going to be the ones where it's like educational. Mine sometimes are ridiculous and funny because that's my like artistic outlet. I'm just like that. It makes me happy. So I like doing stupid things sometimes. But right now I like to try and post 2 a day, somewhat morning time, somewhat evening time. I'm always on my stories. I mean, seriously, if you really wanted to like, I don't know where I am in life, you're going to know where I am in life. Like, it's out there, you know, the funnies, the business, all of it. So my stories are really consistent. And then my posts are usually 2 times a day. And I batch reels. And then we just keep dropping them, you know?
Yo, real quick, this podcast is not free. Cost of admission is sharing with a buddy who'd benefit or throwing it on your Instagram story. Tag us. We'll reshare that.
So how did you know what task, or how did you figure out what tasks you are leveraging off and which ones you are keeping? Because you mentioned sometimes you're the one that posts.
Yeah. So Nikki, like last night, sorry, Nikki, sometimes I get back to her and sometimes she's like, hello, I texted you. So she will send me like 6 that haven't been edited. They look good. Here's like the captions that we're going to do, etc. And then I give her the green light or not. So I know about the next 6 that are coming up in the morning. And then if she posts something super informational about Airbnbs, maybe I'll post something on Realtor Life or the market or just something funny. You know, I try to like give you a couple different versions of me and what's going on in that day, you know? But if you're like my friend, like I should be on your freaking feed in one way, shape, or form, you know?
All the time.
All the time. But it's going to be usually Airbnb, investment, realtor related, and like trying to encourage people to buy, yes, even in this market, and bringing them value adds with just like market updates. I try to give you a little bit of everything.
Makes sense. Question: when you batch, you say you batch and you're like, you'll knock out like 20 reels. What does that process look like? Do you come in with like a script of your 20 that you've already thought through? Or is like, you know, someone asking you questions and you just like answer and then record it? Like, what does that look like?
So I live a very fast-paced life. And again, Nikki, this beautiful woman sitting right off camera, because she'll never be on camera, it's not her thing. She helps me keep things like in order. She's like the best. So any entrepreneur's brain is like what I sound like right now. You know, like it's just always going. And so as I'm walking, if I'm listening to a podcast and I get inspiration about a reel, I text Nikki. And sometimes it will just be a one-liner. Sometimes it will be a journal. Like if I'm in my feelings, Nikki gets this like journal entry, you know, but she takes my like cosmic ideas throughout the day. And I show up to do my batching, and she has a printed out sheet of all of these crazy ideas that I've had throughout the week on a list. And so, because, you know, sometimes you're in the moment, you have these great ideas, and like the next day you're drinking coffee and you're like, what was that amazing idea that I had yesterday? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So
why did I think it was amazing?
Yeah, I'm not getting it anymore. So like I literally will text Nikki, and she knows I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. Sometimes there's no intro. Sometimes it's da 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 da. I put real : idea. And literally I show up in my outfit with my hair and makeup done, and she sets down a sheet in front of me, and it's got not even a sheet. Now we're up to like pages. And then I look down and I'm like, oh, let's do that one. That feels good right now. Because sometimes I'm just not in the mood to talk about mommy deep stuff. Sometimes I'm like this. So then I go down, boom, let's do that one. Down, boom, let's do that one. And we are on track now to record 20 to, like, I would say 20 to 25 in about an hour and a half, like just boom, 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 knocking them out, throw on another outfit, boom, 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 knocking them out. So we've streamlined that a lot, because that is not how it used to be. Coming in, time is money. We all know this, but that's facts. Coming in to batch reels and going, what should I talk about? That is not a successful lineup. Like, let's set yourself, and oh yeah, by the way, the other people in the room whose time is also valuable. Let's set everybody up for success with just a little bit of thinking ahead. So I take my sporadicness, Nikki makes it itemized, then we show up and it's time to execute.
Nikki is your chat GPT.
She is. she is. That can take my kids to soccer practice. Yeah.
Even better.
The best
It's amazing.
PT ever.
It is amazing.
So you make all these videos and like in an hour, you're changing in and out and still doing 20. I'm assuming these are shorts, right? These are like less than a minute. At that point, where does the process go? Who do you or Nikki send it to?
So I walk away and I go back to real estate. So, and then they just handle it. So Robert,
you drop the mic, Falisha.
like literally, yes. And so then they'll go out for edits. They'll get the captions, all the fun captions that people like. So they'll get captioned out. And then Nikki will come up kind of with like the commentary based on what I'm saying. But again, they get approved through me. So it's not like anything's being blindly posted without me really giving a thumbs up, massaging it, changing it. We were doing one yesterday where we were talking about Layla Hermosi, who's a powerhouse of a freaking woman, if you don't follow her already. The caption said something very small, like I was talking with Layla. And I'm like, not true. We were texting. I actually rather just be truthful. So I was texting with Layla, and just a small little thing because I just want to make sure everything that I'm putting out there is as accurate as possible. So I'm involved in those ways, but edit, I have no idea. And then it will get dropped into a folder and Nikki will pick different outfits so that your feed looks different. So she'll pick different outfits, come up with the verbiage, send it to me. And I literally sometimes will just do the little emoji, good to go, change this, don't like this one. And then the posts happen. It's a machine. It's a machine now.
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah. Gotta love a machine. I have a question about your studio. So right now you have like a mic and there's lights and you look great. So when you come in and you're like batch recording, is it like a phone? Is it like a real camera? What is that?
Both. So fun story. I'm sitting in my media professional's home who, oh yeah, I helped him buy, which was his first home. So we're sitting in his home where he has a studio. This is like one place that we record. My brokerage actually has a social media room where we record. And yes, if nobody's around and my hair is on point, I will batch reels myself. I'm a woman, I'm a mom. It's not, I don't do my hair every day. And I'll even batch reels sometimes that way. So yes, cool lights, Mike. Freaking mom status at the soccer game. Sometimes those are the best ones. I was talking the other day about the market and how I truly, honestly believe that every parent out there should be thinking about buying an asset for their kids right now. I believe this with all of my heart because I think the people that have 1-year-olds and 2-year-old children, by the time they're 22, 23, and 24, their first time home buying experience is not going to be the $300,000 home. It's probably going to be a $700,000, $800,000 home. That's just where we're going. So I was at my son's baseball game and I turned the phone on me and I'm like, I'm going to do this reel. And it was kind of imploring people to think this way. Instead of thinking about a savings account, think about buying your child an asset right now and putting a renter into it and letting that grow in equity growth for the next 20 years. And then they could either move into it as their primary residence, which we know what happens if they live in it for 2 years, right? Or they can house hack it, just all of these concepts and the mega amounts of money and wealth that you could be handing your children when it comes time to buy their first home, because they could sell it, they could use that. Anyways, I was at my kid's baseball game and I was just like, I'm going to throw this out there. So much feedback, comments, connections. I never thought about this. And that's a topic that I feel like could be life-changing for people. No studio mic or pretty lights needed. Cell phone turned around, talking about something that can really change people's lives works. That works.
It's so interesting that like content creators will, a lot of the times say, I post, consistently, and some stick, some don't. And usually it's the ones that they don't think will stick. So you can practice as many times as you want, but really I'm a true believer that it's kind of spaghetti on the wall, it's just throw it out there. Some of it will take off. So you have a bunch of people helping you with just social media alone, not even like related to being a realtor with your team. If you were to do it again, would you hire all these people all at once? What would be like your steps in hiring?
Yeah, I think just like anything else, even being a realtor, I think that you could probably do, in my personal opinion, 40 deals by yourself before getting a transaction coordinator. Now you're on to like, well, maybe that was me. So I'm like, then like 60 deals, you probably need, a buyer's agent or two. You know what I mean? Like, there's a progression in life, and I totally believe in this progression too. I don't think that the first year that you make $1 million, you should go buy a $5 million house. No, sister, you haven't really consistently made it yet. You know what I mean? So I definitely think there's a progression with all of it, and I can financially afford consistently this team now. But I couldn't have done that the first year that I walked away from my career, right? So wherever you're at, I always do believe in the next hire catapulting your business. It's crazy when you make the right hire, how then you see your numbers grow, but you don't need to do everything at once. Like, you'll know when it makes sense. Until then, your iPhone turned around, staring at your mug, it works. You know what I mean?
I want to go in further. How do you know and how do you find the right person, the right hire?
Super blessed with people in my life. Every single person on my team is either a family member or truly one of my best friends. It has been like this, cultivating a business with the people that I love. I just spoke at WealthCon in Hollywood a few months ago, and I was telling people, like, usually if I'm bringing, let's say, like one of my buyer's agents on that wasn't necessarily one of my best friends right away, I date them, and I actually date people. So I will say, we're going on a date, and I want to know about you, and I'm going to tell you about me, and these are my expectations, and this is where I'm going in life. Do you like it? Don't you? Okay, we're cool. Let's go on another date. And we will go do another date, and then we do that again. And then if I'm jiving and we're like, all right, this is working, then I ask to get engaged. And what I mean by that is, I want to meet your significant other, because I've met a lot of cool people, and then their significant other is the person that I almost have to worry about. I'm like, that one is a hard one, right? And these are people that I travel with, that I vacation with. Yes, I want to like their significant other. If we pass the dating and the engagement phase, then I say it's time to get married, put a ring on it, and that's with a contract. And so then we get into the contracts. And yes, I even did this with, super weird to say this way, but yes, I even did this with like my little brother. He wanted to be an agent. And I said, you're not getting out of the dating phase. We are going to go and talk through everything. We actually need to talk about more, because we are brother and sister, and I don't want that to up our relationship. So now we got a whole other level that we need to talk about,
Sure, he loved that. It's like, oh, big sister, come on.
I couldn't have worked together even like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but there's been growth in both of us. And I feel like now was like the perfect time. But I wanted to make sure that it was the perfect time, because nothing is worth messing up that relationship over. So date, engage, get married, put time into the people that you hire. A wrong hire will suck your energy, suck your money out of your business, and make you take 10 steps back. It ain't worth it. Put the time into hiring correctly.
Would you
No, you're good.
suggest, a lot of people do turn to virtual assistants because it's like cheaper, it's easier, and there are so many. Would you, and from what I gather in your social media crew, nobody is virtual. They're all there. They travel with you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on VAs?
I think that they could work, right? Like, again, this business can be sliced and diced so many different ways. And I absolutely see the potency in a virtual assistant financially, and just like workload, like literally your bang for your buck. I totally get it. I would never change my TC and my assistant, because, and I say this quite often, but I feel like we're on a journey together. There's going to be a point where I'd step out of this game altogether. And I hope that my team just thrives when I step out of it, right? And I want to look and see the people that I love, who I'm their aunties and their their godmother to their kids and all these things. I want to see those people thrive. So I'm more, that relationship girl. But being new in the business and maybe more on a budget, VAs all the way, baby. I mean, that one makes sense. I can't dog it.
Okay, so you've mentioned Nikki, which I think is your personal assistant. You've mentioned his name starts with an M, camera guy.
I was saying Mike, but his name's Robert. Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Robert.
Okay.
So your camera guy. You just mentioned a TC. So could you give us like an overview of what your organization looks like now, the pieces of the puzzle that you have in place?
Yeah. So I have a transaction coordinator, Kayla Bernstein. Again, one of my best friends, and that's not like I love these people. I am the godmother to her children. Her husband works on the fire department with Nick, and she was looking for something to stay at home and be more of a mom, but still have an identity and make money. So years ago, we came to the conclusion that we could work together, and she's a beast. She has created her own TC. I mean, now she's marketable. Now people are like banging on her door, So she did that. I can never take any credit for that. She did that. So Kayla's my TC. I have Colleen, Lacey, Grant, Josh, and Nick. They're all agents on my team. Nick is my husband, Grant is my brother, and then all the other ones are really good friends of mine. Josh, is active duty and a DO of a whole maintenance squadron. So, and Colleen's husband is a pilot still in the military. So we are all like first responders or veterans or active duty. So my whole team is, so that's cool. And then Nikki and Robert, and that's about it. So we have with Robert counted in, we've got 9 total between TC, assistant, agents, video guy, and then me.
I know Josh, actually. I don't think that I've ever met him in person though, but just from Air Force, connections. We've been friends on Facebook for a couple of years now.
Josh?
Yeah,
Is
Josh.
Josh? Yeah, he's out there on the social media world too. The funny thing with Josh is his real estate social media is still a little small. He's working on it, but he's really well known as being a salsa dancer. Yes,
Yep.
girl, yes. He's got a big social media.
That's
And he's
badass.
bilingual, and he's a freaking rock star. He's the one that I'm like, hey, don't know if I'm going to jive with this person that I just took a lead on. You want to stab at it? And he yes, and he's on it, and he goes and he locks them in. He's just a killer out there. So yeah, he was a great ad.
That's exactly where I wanted to go with this is now that, so you have a team of agents earlier in the show. I mean, you mentioned, and as everyone knows, everyone does something a little bit differently. As a team leader, how do you make sure that gets done the way you want it to? You have so many ideas in your head and you have your processes. Giving your processes to somebody else, how do you turn them into owners of that process as well?
Weekly meetings. I mean, it's a non-negotiable. Actually, I created standards this year in 2023. So we implemented weekly meetings when COVID started via Zoom calls, right? And then after COVID kind of, lightened up a little bit, we kept doing weekly meetings. But last year, I felt like we canceled too easily. With the mom, because they were Monday morning meetings. So if a holiday was on a Monday, the moms would be like, oh, I don't have anybody to watch the kids. And we'd kind of cancel. We are just go back to the machine, getting on track with my team in the beginning of the week, every single week. There is no competing with how incredible we are. Think about all those cylinders just working, even within a 2-hour meeting, and how much more I don't know, your business just goes. So this year I actually made it a non-negotiable. So we are going to move, we actually moved the meetings from Monday to Tuesday because I noticed that a lot of holidays landed on Mondays. Again, the moms, the kids out of school, that ended up being something. So now Mondays are for me and Nikki to talk Falisha calendar, Falisha personal things. Tuesdays are for the Rexford group, and we go through every single file. Boom, boom, boom. We need this on this file. We hit and touch every file, every client, every week. And then we go over big concepts. So at the end of the month, we're doing, we rented out a movie theater for a preview of Indiana Jones. We're inviting tons of Air Force squadrons. Their tickets are paid for, their popcorn is paid for, all that stuff. So that's an event. So we're making sure that things are in line for our events. And I always have events on the books. You were asking, how do you make sure? Weekly meetings. It's as easy as that. And it is potent. Like I can never believe actually how much gets done in a 2-hour meeting. When you are focused, when everybody is there, no kids, business, files, clients. I mean, it's crazy. We're all like inherently lazy asses. You know what I mean? Like, so to put something on the books where you're going to be there and you're going to work, I mean, it's an accountability is there. Like, this is a non-negotiable for me. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I can go so many directions with this. A quick sidestep though. Since you have separated, or did you retire from the Air Force or
No,
separate?
nope. I did 4 years active duty, 9 years as a contractor. So 13 years up
Okay.
at Creech Air Force Base.
How did you continue to maintain such a strong Air Force presence? You know, there's a social media where you're attracting your audience. A lot of them are military, but how do you maintain those local connections?
I love this question because it gets me super excited to tell you the answer. So after some time goes by, your relationships up there, well, they PCS and they move. And I felt like, man, my relationships may be like dwindling a little bit from like the people that I knew, right? Because there's a lot of young blood coming into the base and all that stuff. I was super blessed. Somebody nominated me to be an honorary commander. And so I became an honorary commander of the 22nd Attack Squadron, and I was an honorary commander for 3 years there. Then I was asked to move over to the 44th Reconnaissance Squadron as an honorary commander. So I did that, and my husband became the honorary commander of the 22nd Attack Squadron. So now my husband and myself are both honorary commanders. And what is that? That is it's almost like it's like an escrow, but it's like you're the middle person. You are the civilian that connects your military to maybe the civilian sector. You help with morale, you help with events, you are going to sponsor them. So like when I said I hosted multiple parties this past weekend, Friday was a first Friday event for the 22nd Attack Squadron where they hail and farewell people, they give awards, they do coins, all that stuff. I had it at my house, my personal residence. I got a taco guy. We had an open bar. So yeah, that's going to come out of my pocket financially, but it's crazy. I love this part because just think of the cyclicalness of this, okay? I don't even know if that's a word. I just made it one. Cyclicalness of this. I do a lot of military deals. So I help people buy and sell, every PCS season. Okay. I make money off of that to turn around and put money right back into them and their squadron, right? Multiple squadrons at events, Christmas parties. I donate my Airbnbs every year, have done that for like 5-6 years. So I show up, we have these big poster boards and we literally auction them off for free. So now people are staying at our Airbnbs, all this stuff. I try to give back to them as much as I can. And the crazy part is they keep me more busy. You see like how that works? You literally like dump into them and they keep the business flowing. So I love that, but I think that's a huge way of my husband and I staying top of mind up at Creech because we're hosting these events and doing these fun things like all year long.
Dude, so I have never heard of an honorary commander before, and I think that's like the coolest thing ever. Is that like an actual thing, or did they make that up especially for you?
That's an
like how do other
thing.
people get to be honorary commanders?
That is an actual thing, except years ago. So like we've been in this now for going on like 5 years. Years ago, and I hate to say it this way, but it's true. An honorary commander was like some older dude, veteran that maybe didn't do too much, And so this program has been around for a long time. I think seeing somebody that looks like me is new, right? Like a younger female. But I look at it as like a mommy role almost, If the squadron needs something, I'm there to fill it. On Veterans Day, like without question, they are going to get to their squadron. They're going to have burritos sitting there waiting for them and donuts and all of the fun things. I'm going to say thank you because the base that I'm attached to, a lot of these people do things, missions that they can't talk about, but I was a part of them. So like they go to work and they come home and it can feel like a very thankless job. So it's my job not to just, pay for the events, this, that, the other. It's my job to be that center point, to be like, we see you. We see you. We appreciate you. You're appreciated. Thank you for what you do, that kind of thing. So the program's been around for a while. I think it was just like an old crusty program that now people are starting to like reinvigorate with new blood, and hopefully people that really like want that title. Because I also know other squadrons that have some honoraries and they're like, I don't even know their name. They don't show up.
Right. They don't do shit.
They don't do shit,
Dude, what a wasted opportunity for them, though. They should get their license, join your team, and go be honorary commander of the world.
And it's so fun. Like, you're going to these parties, you're hanging out. Like I said, I never go with that dirty car salesman thought process of selling real estate. I'm a realtor, da-da-da-da-da. That will come out by itself. And it does.
Yeah, when they follow you on socials and they're like, this girl knows all the things and she's fun and she's relatable. And yeah, I want to go do this.
Yep. Look at
I'm going to go do this.
You have to do paperwork, do all that stuff. Please. And then tell me, because it's awesome. And then you have, and again, those squadrons, people, the military moves people every 2 to 4 years ish,
But they are still following you and they're still loving you and they're still sending you referrals. And damn, no wonder you have 27,000 followers on it. Like, it all makes sense. I got it.
And what a niche to be a part of, where all these people go. I call them little seeds, because you've invested, you've cultivated this, that, the other, and then that seed gets PCS to Washington, D.C., Holloman, New Mexico, Syracuse, New York. They love and are invested in you. And so when somebody is PCSing back to Vegas, you're the first person they tell them about.
This is such a good tip for spouses of military members, which is what I am now. I served for a decade, active duty, separated, and I'm losing that connection. Luckily, my spouse's commanders, they're so cool. I'm there quite often, and I visit the old OSI, gig quite often. But there's only so much you can do. You're not there every day. So I never even thought about reaching out to a commander or anybody that I'm on good terms with and saying, hey, can I sponsor a down day? Can I just attend? Like, that is amazing. Do you have any other like pieces of advice for spouse related to this?
This short pause is to tell you that this podcast ain't free. Y'all, tap on the 5 stars and leave a review with your Instagram handle. If you're funny, we might give you a shout out on the next episode. Thank you so much. Back to the show.
So you just said that and it instantly reminded me of something that happened. And I can't really remember timeline wise if I was an honorary commander yet or not. I don't think I was. I don't think that I was. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to just like buy 200 cupcakes and I'm going to send them up to a squadron and I'm going to tape my business cards all the way around. And I made a sign and I had them delivered on the night shift. And the sign said, because night shift sucks and cupcakes makes it better, right? Like, it was just funny, like, and thoughtful, because everybody gets like forgot about on shift work, right? I swear on my kids' lives, on my marriage, the next morning, I got a listing for a cabin up in Indian Springs. He goes, so I got your number off some cupcakes. And I was like, oh my God, best $250 spent ever,
Oh my God.
So will that happen every time? No. But doing those things, even those little things consistently, you do burritos one month, you do cupcakes one month, you do cookies one month, you write a little letter that's been laminated, has your QR code on the bottom of it.
That's
so
what I was going to ask. When you are doing this, like, I know you're not salesy, I know you're not pitching the real estate thing, but you putting your number on the cupcakes. Like, can you at least tell us, like, if you are sending cupcakes or doing the burritos, what is the Falisha Rexford piece that's attached to it to ask for the business?
I don't think, and Nikki can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think I've ever said anything on any of my letters about being a realtor, ever. It's always about them. So like Valentine's Day, something, and obviously I'm paraphrasing, Valentine's Day when we send cookies or what have you, it will be just because I'm thinking about you and because you're loved. Valentine's Day. Now, do I have the QR code there? Yes. If somebody wants to scan it, awesome. If they want to grab a business card, cool. But I'm not going to be your local realtor. You know what I mean? That's just me though. That's just me. But I do it so much that it's funny because people tell me this all the time. They're like, somebody will talk about real estate up there and they're like, there's this lady that everybody uses, Rexford,
Yeah.
Rex something, and it comes around. It totally comes around.
The QR code, what's on it? When they scan it, they see what?
Oh, everything. So up pops my website, my Instagram. I have gone away from doing a ton of YouTube right now because I just wanted to focus on shorts and reels. It's just my 2023 mission for myself, just focus on reels and Instagram. But they'll get all of the social media platforms so that they can pick their preferred platform. So if they want to go to the website, they can. Instagram, they can. Facebook, they can. Everybody has a preferred platform, so that's what pops up.
So we have an idea of like what your team looks like, what you've been doing to generate business. We have so many ideas that we want to go implement. But so like, if we're looking ahead for you, what is the next, I guess 12 months feels too short for you. What does the next like 5 years look like with your team, with real estate agent life?
Yeah. So my husband and I have a lot of monetary goals and investment goals and things like that. Follow me on Instagram. In September to October, I'll be in Italy trying to purchase my first international property.
So cool.
Yeah,
right
that's
now,
been your
We're
dream.
coming.
Woo!
You don't know.
Italy,
Allie and I
baby!
are visiting. Yeah.
Yes. So I am in the part of my life where I am setting up my life for my husband and I's chapter second half, whatever that is, right? So like we are super active in traveling right now with our kids. I've homeschooled my kids the past 3 years. We are going to put them back into school next year. And I've got some really specific monetary goals and investment goals to hit. But the intention, and this is the part that I think is super beautiful that I keep telling my team, and my team knows this. I said, little by little, guys, I visualize myself as the funnel, the big part of the funnel where I funnel a lot of business in, and then it goes down and I hand it over to my team as it gets smaller and smaller. Because a lot of people on my team aren't Falisha. They don't want to do the social media, and I can't knock everybody for that. It's not for everybody, but they are beneficial for so many reasons. Anyways, I will be stepping back out of the day-to-day buy and listing agent stuff to enjoy my life with my husband. And so I've got probably about 5 to 7 more years of really grinding it out myself. And then I already step back. Like the next 3 weeks, I'm gone. If my phone rings with the lead, good for my team. Like, here you go, baby.
Great.
Go get them,
Crush it.
Yeah. And I've got really cool videos that I hope that we can talk about. I want to make sure we're okay with time, but it's a way that I still stay engaged with all of my clients, even when I'm really not the lead agent, because a lot of times people expect to see Falisha Rexford, but then they may not get Falisha Rexford. So how do I fill that gap? I've figured out a way to do that. But yeah, 5 to 7 more years of like really grinding it out and then stepping back and enjoying life and traveling. The Airbnbs for me, it's way more than just like a doors thing. I'm so over the doors thing. It's way more a lifestyle. So hubby, you want to go to Florida, to the Florida condo? Do you want to go to the Utah cabin? Do you want to go to Italy? Like that's the legacy build that I'm working on and will be enjoying in 5 to 7 years.
Wow. And we will be enjoying that watching your Instagrams.
Knock me knock, come visit me.
Buongiorno. I got it. We're good. You mentioned something that I do want to talk on. Well, the video, and please correct me if I'm wrong. You are the face of the Rexford group. You are the one that's the connector, that's the communicator. You're out there, you're gathering all of the leads, like all this business because people love you. Then you are now no longer the main agent. How have you worked that to have it be a smooth process?
Yeah. And I don't know if we sent you guys a video. It's honestly my golden nugget that I've been sharing a lot lately, because it's funny because you'll share golden nuggets and still people won't do things, right? So, but it is awesome. I've got this entire library. Let's just use a real life example on how this is probably going to happen in the next couple of days. I leave to go to the beach on the 15th. So I'm going to be gone for a few weeks. Ring, ring, phone rings. It's somebody that I know that maybe I deployed with. Hey, I just got my orders. I'm going to be PCSing, Perfect. Awesome. I'm going to actually have one of my partners. So I never say one of my agents or lead agents. I instantly say partner. And I make my agent say the same thing, because what you're getting is a 2-for-1. You're not getting somebody below Falisha, oh, one of my agents. No, you're getting my partner. So I literally coined them all that. So I'm going to put you in contact with my partner. Now I have like 6 different options, right? And sometimes I just know where everybody's at on their files or who may connect best with them on a personal level. So, hey, I'm going to connect you with my partner, Josh. I'm not going to be in town for the next couple of weeks, but he's going to make sure that we get you qualified. He's going to get you set up on a search. And then when I get back into town, if you're still viewing, you may see him or me. It's like a twofer. They get a 2-for-1. And that's true. That is true. If Josh is at the base and a house needs to be shown, I'm still going to go do that, because this is a partnership and I don't want to just like set it and forget it. That's not my style. But I will be probably doing a lot less of the work, right? It's more monitoring, like a mommy. I say all that, and then I go, as soon as I hang up the phone, I'm going to go ahead and send you a little intro video of me and my team, FaceTime. So now they get to see Josh. It's a hi, it's a who I am, sees Josh, is that the other. Then I got another one, if they're a buyer, that's going to be like, here are some pre-buying ROEs, which is, you're not going to go out and make any big purchases, this, that, the other. And it's a video. It's me in a red dress with my team, which will also have their agent FaceTime, and their next step, which is getting you pre-qualified. We're going to view homes. You're not going to sit on people's couches. You're not going to let your children climb on people's play sets. We're not going to park in their driveway. And oh yes, there are cameras in people's homes. So we're not going to negotiate a deal inside the property. That's the next step. Boom. And so they just got 2 videos, even though I'm going to be drinking wine and eating s'mores for the next 2 weeks. They had a phone call. I passed them off. Josh is going to do everything. Boom, boom, video. Josh is going to get them in escrow. We get in escrow. There's always a group text thread. So sometimes I'm a thumbs up, maybe a quick comment at best. And then we open escrow. Congratulations video goes out. Who's doing the congratulations video? They're still getting Falisha. Even if it's not a phone call or personal, visually and psychologically, they're seeing me giving them the next steps of the transaction. So now we're opening escrow. Now wiring instructions are going to come out. This is the video, me, that. And Josh dropped it. And then maybe I'll put if you have any questions, let us know. And I'm back to drinking wine at the beach. But they're visually seeing me throughout the entire process. There are plenty of times, and not that I mean to do it this way, but there are plenty of times where maybe I'm out traveling and I never actually meet these people in person. They'll be able to see me at a bar and be like, Falisha, because they still feel that connection, you know? I think social media videos in general. I mean, today when I was driving over here, we closed on I was a listing agent. We closed on a deal, and I know that they're traveling across the country. And so just really fast, I just turned around. I did a 60-second video. Congratulations, guys. You should see your funds hit your account today. Da, 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 da. And I just sent that specifically to them. It's FaceTime, you know? So like, how can you get FaceTime? And so that's how we've really navigated building a team, passing over the leads, not feeling like you're not being there for the person that called Falisha, because they're dealing with my partner and Felicia's still there, even though physically I may not be.
Okay, and you're the one who's in all of the videos. They're pre-recorded, but Josh sends them? Is that correct?
We all have them, right? And so he knows, everybody knows when, I mean, it's just per, you get an offer accepted.
Stage of the transaction.
Yeah, stage.
For sure.
And it's not just me, it's me and my whole team. So they can still see Josh standing in his blue suit, or maybe the video is good for everybody on my team and every stage, but I'm the one vocalizing everything in the red dress.
Interesting.
So it's like, and it's a brand. It's literally kind of a brand, when people see my face on the shopping carts or on any ads or whatever, it's kind of my face. I'm the female veteran. It's veteran owned and operated, all this stuff. There's no way Falisha could do everything without my team, So the video incorporates the team, but it still lets people see Falisha.
For every transaction
almost all of them. Oh. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really
so
just it's like monitoring a lot of the time.
Yeah, you
And
did
when
mention just like a
if I'm
like.
sitting in my backyard drinking coffee and I know Lacey, because these people, I know what they're doing. We're meeting every week. So Lacey's, let's say, on a field trip with her kid or something, and I'm in the backyard drinking coffee, and something goes off in the group text thread, and I know where she's at. She's my friend. So besides real estate, I'm talking to her about life. And they ask, hey, this, that, the other. And that's my partnership of that deal. Like, I handed a qualified lead to Lacey. Lacey's going to make 50% of that commission. I can throw off a text. And they're okay with me being like, hey, can you show this house too? They can ask me these things. If I can, I will. They know I will. I'm a freaking hustler. There is nobody, and this is not meant to be mean. There is nobody on my team that will outwork me. There's nobody, like, I'm just ridiculous right now because I gave myself my 5 to 7 year mark, and then I'm going to peace out, So, and even my husband tells me that. And that, again, that's not like this like egotistical thing. I'm a workhorse. So if a house needs to be shown and I really don't have anything going on, I'm not going to be like, no, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go do it.
You mentioned no one will outwork you. How do you get over I feel like as entrepreneurs, like you have such a level of hustle and like a standard that you want everyone to be at.
Yeah.
And everyone is so different.
So different.
How do you get over that?
I had such a frustrating year once because, you look at numbers and you're almost like, you kind of feel like the mommy. So like, you want to shake them and be like, why aren't you out there getting leads and talking to people? Like, not everybody is Falisha. Not everybody's Allie. Like, we have to be okay with people doing things their own way. That will reflect in how much they make. And if they're okay with that, who am I to say? I mean, I can encourage, you can't make people do things, right? And so I have to I see the beauty though in everybody. So interestingly enough, even though people make different incomes on my team, I think everybody brings a different beauty. They do things differently, and I appreciate them, and they make me a better person for being different. If you just duplicated Falisha, there'd still be some holes in this thing. You know what I mean? It's like a marriage. It's like my husband. It's a husband-wife balance, I always say to everybody that Nick is the quiet to my storm. And I need somebody occasionally to quiet me and check me and say, maybe that's too aggressive. And I'll be like, okay, I'll take it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, we need these things. So there's a beauty in people not being exactly like you, even though it's hard for me to comprehend. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to make this money and do this? And my big thing is like, I call it LLP, and that's what I was talking about out in Hollywood, which is lifestyle, legacy, philanthropy. That's kind of my what I try to focus on daily in one way, shape, or form. So changing my lifestyle, right? Who doesn't want a nice home and nice things and blah, 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 blah. Legacy adds, my children, my grandchildren. What am I doing to build a portfolio that could be passed down for generations and create generational wealth? Philanthropy, I want to give back without thinking about it. If I want to donate $1,000 to a kid on his graduation because I'm going to cut that check in 2 seconds. I don't even have to think about that. And philanthropy is not just money. Philanthropy is time, energy, giving back in any way, shape, form. So I can do philanthropy, anything, every day. What this is right now is giving people a lot of free freaking content. What they do with it is up to them. Not everybody's going to be us. That was a lesson that I needed to really kind of deep dive within myself to be okay with and realize that people being different is actually a blessing, and it makes me a better person and a better leader because I have to figure out how to deal with different people.
Totally. And Allie and I know, I'm looking at her, we have both struggled with that exact same thing, and it's taken time. And I think we're both accepting a little more, but it's a hard thing to wrap your head around, why don't you want or whatever? But you're right. There's so much beauty in all of the different personalities and what they want in life. But Falisha, dude, we could literally talk to you for the next 4 hours. I'm 100% positive of that. But we are about to shift into our few little wrap-up questions. But before we do, is there any parting, anything that we didn't cover that you want to, or any words of wisdom before we we head into wrap up?
I think we covered even more than I thought we would. So I'm good, and I'm always available. Myself, little plug, which I'm probably going to do, you guys are going to do, but I answer my DMs on Instagram. Like, that's no robot or chat GBT. That's Falisha. So it's a really good place if people have any more questions or what have you. Don't be surprised if sometimes it's not text, if it is a 30-second video, because it's easier for me, but I try to get back to everything. So if something that we didn't cover comes up, you can still get a hold of me that way.
Perfect. And that is one of our questions, was where can people find you? So we'll jump to that. We'll do reverse order. Where do you, besides is it Instagram, what is your handle? And then anywhere else that you want people to go to?
Yeah, I think Instagram's like the easiest. It's just one of my like go-tos every day. My name's spelt a little funny. So Falisha, Falisha, Falisha Rexford. I got like a little military uniform on, like an old school green dress. That's me. That's probably the best place. And then obviously I do have content out there on YouTube. I do have my website. So if you have anything real estate related in Las Vegas, these ladies can hook you up with me directly. Like, you can go to my website, etc. Instagram's probably the best though.
Awesome. And then continuing to go in reverse order, how can we help you in your business?
Oh my gosh, ladies, you are just by doing all your own posts. I hope that, I'll just say it right now, you both inspire me. I watch your content. Literally, Allie, I saw you popped up today while I was drinking coffee. You know, like Shelby, Nick brought up one that you did the other day, and I'm like, dude, there was one about mentoring and how like the newbie one.
They're a waste of time. Sorry.
Dude, like that is, and so I kind of did a little post on my stories the other day, similarly to that. It's not that I don't want to not help people, but so much of it is wasted on deaf ears. Either execute or something, or don't waste my time, because I am a mom. And if I'm talking to you for free 99, I'm not spending moments with my children. So make sure that if you're coming to me, you're going to be executing, you know? You ladies inspire me. Your content is awesome. Keep it up. I hope to hug you in person one day. So, and then obviously we're all agents. So I think we all have really good connections on that aspect too.
Looking forward to that hug in person one day. What events are you going to this year?
I was just looking at David Green's in Florida. He's doing a mastermind end of, is it July? I think it's end of July. It is. And I've been wanting to go to one of his events for a long time. I resonate with him and Kyle Rinke. So, and I'm on their live stream masterminds a lot. So they do like Friday meetups. That's a really good one. There is an event I'm going to be missing out here in Las Vegas, Ryan Pineda's Wealthy Investor event. But I am in Las Vegas, and that is a very like transitional city. So if you're ever in town and you're a realtor or an investor and you want a not so boring cocktail, I'm your girl.
That's awesome. And what is your favorite app or tool?
What is my favorite app or tool? I like, this is probably super basic, maybe not what you want to hear, the Monday.com app on my phone is where I throw in my leads when I'm getting them traveling to soccer practice and baseball games, and I get a phone call. It's a really good place for me to track my active working leads, because it's a fast-paced game. And if you don't have these systems in place, they're going to go through the cracks. You're going to lose a deal over it. So it's just a really useful one for me.
And that makes sense. And since we did reverse order, that was our last question that we had for you. So Falisha, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And guys, make sure to follow her, DM her, hit her up. Like, her contact's freaking amazing. And if you do want to hang with me and Allie, we also reply. They're not bots. We'll reply to our DMs. So it's Allie, the agent, ALI, and the Shelby Show on the gram. And we didn't say it out loud, so just in case, it's theagentgoldmine.com is where you're going to be able to get Falisha's golden nugget. And guys, that is it for today. So make sure that be a bro and share the show. Thanks for listening, dude. If you want the golden nugget that this guest provided, see the show notes or just go straight to theagentgoldmine.com. That's where we keep the resources for you. Till next time.